Well, as I sit and wait for more engine parts to come, and I'm missing just a few odds and end pieces, I think I'm going to finish off the fuel line. I'm going to run some hard line right up over the front fender. I have this stuff. It's left over from the Thunderbird, so I figured, hell, I bought it already. I have it. Might as well use it. It looks like it'll probably be enough. If not, we'll just, I got some 1/4 inch hard line. 3/16 hard line? I don't know, but this is 5/16 hard line. It should be more than adequate to run this motor. I might have to upgrade it to 3/8 later on when I go to actually, if I ever go turbo this truck. So we're going to pull off what we need, pull off what we have there, figure out what fittings we need, go down, get the fittings, come back, and try to bend it all up. Now that I got a handful of tools that I think I need under there, I'll show you what it looks like. So I haven't done anything with these fuel lines other than disconnect them. And here we got this one. I mean, they had it all jangled up in there like that. And then they had this soft line, which is the return line, come all the way back. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to build a new soft line because this is whack. It's even pinched right here. So I don't think I'm going to be able to bend that out of it. But let's see if I can break these nuts right here loose and take off. Let's work on the main one first, one at a time. Now is what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take them out, and then kind of straighten them out and figure out the contour. There is some soft spots in these lines, or not soft spot, but small lengths of soft line, which I think is good to keep. That way when the body flexes from the chassis or from the frame under a load, it has some give in it, doesn't want to tear everything apart. So there's the main fuel line that comes directly from the fuel filter. Is what we're going to do is we're going to try to modify it, or at least straighten it out, so that way we can maybe flare the end and run it right into my pressure regulator. I'll show you what that looks like. Got this guy from Mr. Gasket. Show you the packaging on it. Four and a half to 9 psi, and we're doing this because we're going to a carburetor. So here I'm just using the vise a little bit to my advantage and just kind of pulling it, pushing it, and see now it went from that big kinky part to a straighter part. I'm going to work on this a little bit. I'm not so worried about that, because that's actually where it kicks up and goes over to the frame rail at from the fuel pump. But a vise could be your very best friend in this. So far I'm okay, I haven't had any kinks yet. See, now when I'm doing this, I'm grabbing here, I'm grabbing with the vise, and I'm pulling this way towards me on the line. If I just push it, it'll want to kink right in here. And I don't want to, I'd show you an example, but then I'd screw up my project. I'm all about trying to be cheap and reuse what I can. So now that we got most of that out, we could take it and bring it to the vise. And it's going to pin here, here, and here. And as I pull, I just want to give it a little twist. So now that I got it looking a hell of a lot straighter than what it was, I think I can make it fit up in there a little bit better. So this end here is going to go up to the fuel line, and then this part here is going to kick it up and over. I'm going to have to probably take this, rotate it over, find a different fitting, get a flare fitting or something, and put it together. That'll fit in there. Also, when doing your lines, you want a tube bender like this one, because now I can take it, once I get it back underneath the car, I can see where it kind of needs to go, and I can throw this up in there and help kind of start forming it to the way it needs to go, and then bring it out from underneath the car. I'll tell you what, I really wish that, this is the type of time that I really wish I had a lift. because crawling underneath the car, or an extra set of jack stands at least to make the car up higher off the truck, higher up off the ground. All right, well now we're back under the truck. Get you in here where you can see what we're working with now. Now see, it's actually looking pretty good. That was all done off of memory. So here we're gonna have, we got our return line here, sending line here. Let's see, so now we know that it's going to have a clip right in here. Can't see that because of the shadows. But only thing I don't like is now it's kind of riding the bottom right here. And I know right over in here, coming right through here, right across here, I'm going to have an exhaust. So I want it, that's kind of the reason for the hard lines. So I kind of left my marker, but I think right about there, I want to start my bend up towards the cab of the truck. So I got this. I'm going to have to figure out which way I want to bend this. Typically I should have brought a pen with me. I'm going to have to pull it out to bend it. I'm going to do it right about there. This all the way up. There, nice and tight. And it's kind of hard to bend wrecked fuel line like this, but not too much, just a little at a time. So now it's sitting nice in my clamp here. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. Alright guys, so we're on plan. We're back to square two. I gave up with those hard lines and trying to find the right fittings to make them all fit. Apparently nobody carries 5/16 compression fittings and whatnot to make them all work. So I went to plan 2, step 13, and I got myself some AN fittings. Check it out. Got on Amazon and I ordered up all these fittings. Some line. A couple fell on the ground. But this should be just about everything that I need to get this fuel system perfect. So after doing a long search on Google, all I could find was that all you have to have is that this line, this fuel line is good. NHRA doesn't want you to have hose clamps, and it can't pass, it has to be steel where it passes where the flywheel is. Now I didn't actually read that in any NHRA rule book. I don't have it with me, but that's my understanding, is what I'm finding on forums and stuff. So it has to pass on, it has to be blocked by some sort of metal. So if I run it on the other side of the frame, I should be good. And if I am completely wrong, please comment down below so I can fix it before I go to the track and do something else. But this stuff seems pretty durable. I thought for sure when I bought this stuff it was just like a anodized coating over. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's not. It's rubber with a nylon braid, and we're gonna put it in anyway because I want to get this thing running. So obviously, here, clean shirt, clean hands. I've been off and on at getting this fuel line put in, and I want to do it the right way. Now I put my AN fittings on the line already, thinking, oh, it's going to be better to do it, put them on in the vise, but I'm starting to get to the point where I think I got to take them back off, run my line, put them back on. Really didn't want to have to do it that way, but I might have to. So I'm going to go ahead and jam through it and come back to you with how I ran them and any oddball things that I had to do. Alright, so I'm back. In this truck, particular model, I don't know exactly how the original fuel lines are ran, but you got the coil spring that rides up and down, and that's directly welded into the frame. And if you don't run the fuel, you can run the fuel lines through there, but if you're not careful of where you run them, you can run them so they actually go between the coils of the spring, and in my opinion, that's really bad. There's a small channel, a really small opening there that you can fit 2 3/8 lines through, because I just done did it, and they'll pass through. Now, I pulled out every tool that I could think of in my arsenal. I pulled out a piece of 1/8" welding rod, pulled out a piece of scrap electrical wire to tape on there to try to fish them through. That didn't work out so well, but I'll show you the tool that did work. This guy right here, the Goober Snatcher 3000. Now it's on a plunger, and it's got the 4 jaws that open up. I didn't use the 4 jaws. I just went ahead and wrapped tape to it because that's what seemed to work. And I fished one through, and then I fished the other one through using this. And what I actually did is I came down here, and I ran it in through this hole, and I guided it up so it would come out the front right there where my 2 fuel lines are coming out. Now let's see if I can get a shot of what I'm talking about here. Let me get the light up in there, and hopefully you can see the 2 fuel lines are running there. If you don't do it right, they can come through there by the shock tower, but that's where they need to be ran at. I guess this truck had some kind of issue at one point in time. Should get under there with some degreaser and clean it all up. I got a side note. Now that it's July and it's hotter than hell out here in the garage, I had a thought. Let me run it by you. If I take that old condenser, hook it up to a pump some water through it, and that water's in a nice cold bucket, and it keeps on circulating it, and then mount that in front of that fan and put it in the window, do you think it'd blow some cold air in this garage? I mean, hell, the other day it got up to 90, and I know a lot of you guys are dealing with 100, 110 a lot of the time, but for me, living up here in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, and when it goes from 60 to 90 in a week flat, you're not really acclimated to it, and it sucks. Well, comment down below what you think. I'm going to get back to work on this. So real quick, what's going on here is I got my lines coming down the frame. There's 1. There's 2. I taped off the ends of them. This is my return line. That's my supply line. I marked both of these so I know which one I put where for up at the front. And then I got these AN fittings right here. One's a 5/16, one's a 3/8. They're little compression fittings. I'll kind of walk you through how I put those on. So this is a 3-part fitting. You got the nut, you got the ferrule, the gold part, and then you got the other end, the fitting. And you want to run the ferrule on. These ferrules are only one-time use steels. So after everything's squared away and put in, that's how they run. Just like that. I'll hop out from under here and show you the other side. So now both of these lines come out of here. They're fully protected by the frame, which should pass NHRA spec. And then I got my regulator, which I think I'm going to either mount to the inner fender well or somewhere else. I don't know. I'm going to look it up. But that's basically all there is to it. You have to make sure to get past your coil spring. That was the most challenging part. So, that being said, I'm going to wait on cutting off any of the line because I don't know where I'm going to mount it. And I'm going to see, I'm going to look up a little bit more information. But I'll probably have a little bit of a follow-up later on in the video. I don't know. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. And if you could, share this video with somebody else that you know is swapping to V8 because this might help them out. I don't know. Again, my hard lines that were coming up came and ran up over the transmission, up to the throttle body. Those weren't going to cut it. I tried bending them to make them work because I think in the NHRA rule book you can have hard lines pass by your bell housing or your flywheel, but nothing else. I don't know. I'm confused on it right now. It's late. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And hey, don't forget to comment on that fan if you think it's going to work if I put that condenser in front of it full of water, ice cold water. We'll catch you next time.